and welcome. I am your host, Giselle Bria, and this is Tales of a Survivor, a new talk show based on true stories of victims of abuse and how they overcame. Over the course of this season, we will hear stories and raise awareness of abuse in all its forms. But most importantly, we want to highlight those individuals who survive abuse, inspiring this way those that are living in silence and abuse, that there is a way to be free of abuse. This program is brought to you by the GNM Project, an organization who I'm very proud to be the CEO and founder, along with my co-founder and co-host, Lisandra Velasquez.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? And welcome again.
Yes, again, we're here again.
That's right.
Today we are bringing awareness. And with us, Elizabeth Rosario. Hi Elizabeth, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Hi,
ladies.
welcome.
What a pleasure and honor to be here with you guys.
Elizabeth Rosario is a licensed social worker that have been dealing with abuse in your place of work. Am I correct?
Right, victims of domestic violence. I oversee the domestic violence shelter and also provided counseling for the women support groups to get them to feel empowered so that they can actually leave the abuser. These women, when they came in, they were still in the relationship. And many of them, of course, were struggling with how to get out of the relationship. So some of the stuff that the agency does is to kind of work with them and support them and guide them, and also develop safety plans on how to leave, because we know that that's the time when it becomes dangerous for the woman when they trying to leave the abuser.
Okay, so today, and the good thing about having a licensed social worker with us is that we're going to cover many things. One of the things that we're going to cover is how to recognize a narcissist, how to recognize an abuse, the warning signs. She's also going to cover for us maybe a safety plan, like she just mentioned, that we must cover when we are ready to exit this relationship. So go ahead, carry on.
Correct, Giselle. So, of course, when we're spreading awareness, one of the things that is important to be mindful of, and of course, sometimes it's hard to detect, but if we continue to talk about it and be aware of it, then it's easy for us to detect those signs. Because when an abuser presents as charming, and sometimes we get caught up on that charmer and we miss some of the other signs, right? But of course, with that charming, you're gonna kind of sometimes see some of the signs in terms of being controlling, which could be contacting you through the phone constantly, wanting to know where you're at, is some other signs. Wanting for you to check in with them constantly. Another thing is kind of like planning your days so that you're not around some of your female friends, family members, so there starts to be some form of isolation, which sometimes for us could be a form of us looking, oh my God, he really, really is into me because he wants to spend all this time with me and he wants to know what I'm doing. So it comes off as something like he's so attentive to me, he's so into me, but those are some of the beginning warning signs that we need to kind of be mindful of.
Okay, now let me ask you something. Why is it that we repaint those warning signs? What do you think, as a person that have witnesses and have a lot of experience with it, why is it that we do those things?
So it starts from early on and from our childhood. Like sometimes as we're growing up, we have these attachments with our parents, right? And so when we move on, so then we're still looking for some of those form of attachments. And so what happens is if this man comes along, right, and is starting to fill some of those needs that we've had from early on that might have not been filled, then that's already one way of them kind of luring us in, right? Because who doesn't want attention? Right? Even as children, we cry over attention, our parents' attention. You know, so if we're not getting attention, that's why you have kids that sometimes do things that kind of it's to get the parents' attention in a negative way. You know, so as adults, we're still thriving for attention. So when this man comes along, it's like, hey, you're looking good, you're looking this. So he's already kind of captured us. That's like at the beginning, right? And then, and he knows he's a master at this. Abusers are masters. They're very aware of what they're doing. They're strategic at what they're doing. And so that's what's important for even women to start empowering each other. And through this segment that you guys are doing is awesome. It's an awesome way to kind of put the information out to the community so that we can kind of always have it in our awareness of the possibility that that man who is kind of presenting in this charming way and giving us all this attention, is this healthy or is this not? Kind of always having that ability to determine what is this? What's going on here?
It's like love at first sight. Everything is beautiful, everything is good, flowers and all that stuff. And then what?
One of the things too that I find, if it feels so good to be true, sometimes it's because it is. You know, that's real. That's real talk.
No, that's true. No, understand. Sometimes I understand that we have we go in the stage, vulnerable stage. They recognize that when we are vulnerable.
Absolutely.
They are so good at it. And then the facade. They have this facade, as you mentioned, this charming and all these things, because they really learn us quickly.
I say this, if you've been dating that man for a week and he tells you he loves you, you better run. There's a sign, run, honey, run fast. Don't even look back. How you love somebody in a week?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people confuse love with attachment. You understand? There is a big difference between attachment. Attachment is needy.
And obsession.
Attachment is obsessed. Love is not needy. It's free.
It's a beautiful thing, yes.
So a lot of people do that. Now let me ask you something. What is, as working so many years in shelters of domestic abuse, I know there has to be something that really stand out for you, that every time you always have that one person or couple of people that you think of. Is there any stories that you saw, maybe somebody that was trying to get out of the relationship and she didn't succeed and went back, and with the back and forth? Maybe have you come across some of that? Did you treat them, and what did you get from that?
Well, one of the things is that they say that a woman leaves 7 times before she leaves for good. So you're working with that possibility that when you have that woman in front of you, that she might go back. But even with that, what you want to do is still give her the tools to make her feel empowered, so that if she does go back and then returns, every time she returns back to you, she's still leaving with something, more tools, right? So that eventually she gets to the point of determination where she just leaves.
That's it.
And then when you're working with a woman, you definitely have to do the safety plan that you talked about at the beginning, because that's when the danger comes in.
Yeah, and
so you have to do kind of a map of what's her daily routines, change her routine. If she catches that 8:15 bus, you might want to catch the earlier bus. You might want to change the way you walk to your job,
That's
if
great.
possible. So this is all part of safety plan. Also, if you're working at an organization that has other sites, talk about the possibility of being transferred to another site. Right now, the organization that I currently work with, for confidentiality reasons, I'm not going to say the name of the organization, but we had a situation where a woman lived at the facility, and her boyfriend came and asked her to come downstairs, and they had a dispute, and she dismissed him, and they were on the verge of they were breaking up. So she dismissed him in conversation and walked away from him, and he shot her.
Oh, wow.
He shot her dead in the lobby, and she was 7 months pregnant.
Wow, that's
So
sad.
this is kind of outside of the work that I do, in my earlier years when I was doing domestic violence work. But you see it every day.
You do.
You see
And
it every
it's
day
sad.
in so many ways. And for this situation resonated for me that when you're at the verge of breaking up is when that guy is really going to try everything to keep you from leaving, right? Even to the point where he'll take your life.
Yeah, because now he sees that he's losing
Yeah,
control, and that's one thing. They are the great manipulators.
And
They are the best.
And the reason you stay is because they have control.
Yeah, they control our minds. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. However, when they feel that they're losing that control, when they feel that no, you're not going anywhere, and when they see, oh, you know what, she really is, they get desperate. So that safety plan. Now, for a person that doesn't go what would you recommend for a person that's not going to go to your agency or any other agency, that they're trying to do it on their own and they're trying to escape? What would you advise them on how to go about it?
Well, it usually takes months of planning. So the first thing is definitely save whatever resources you could save in terms of your monies. Put all your IDs and birth certificate and all those important papers together. Get them out of your home. Get them into a girlfriend's home that's on board with you, that could kind of support you along while you're planning, so that you have all your papers outside of your home. And then, of course, you have to kind of get familiar with what his schedule is, and you would, if you're in a relationship, kind of know when is the best time for you to actually get up and leave your home. Prepare for that escape. And of course, that is the time where you kind of have to kind of be on the low, where you don't want to be seen as much. If you're a person who's outgoing, and you want to kind of limit it, some of those places that you're accustomed to going, that he's familiar with going, which sometimes is your family. That's why it's so hard for women to leave, because that's an isolated period for you. That means you can visit your mother, because he knows where your mother lives. You can visit that sister. You can visit certain friends. So you're going to be kind of in that period of isolation, which is the hardest for anyone.
Especially alone. Yes.
So that's why it's so important to tap into organizations as such that will provide you the support, so that you don't feel alone. There's support groups, so you're with a group of women who are in similar situations like you, so that you don't feel you're the only one in that situation.
And that's a really great organization you're with. Just to have that place that you have that safety, and I know a lot of women definitely, I mean, later on maybe you'll give them information, but that's definitely a lot of women need what you guys are offering, a place to go to, a place to be safe. Maybe change that, because a lot of people don't know, okay, instead of that makes sense, it may be not really a big thing, but just instead of going at the same time taking that bus, go the other way. That's easy things. So sometimes you just got to remind those people,
And when you're in that dire need, sometimes your mind is kind of cloudy. You're not going to remember all those important tips for you to kind of like escape in a safe way.
And a sleep up could cost your life.
Yeah.
Really. It really
And
can.
I'm sorry. And also, like the tips that you were saying, signs that how your man's a little crazy. If he's calling you 24/7, he's hiding behind a pole, the man is crazy. Behind cars is crazy. If he's choking you when you're doing what you got to do, he might be a little crazy. So these are signs that we have to see, and we blind them because we think it's very normal.
Yeah. And then we hold on to those first kind of experiences that we've had with the gentleman, we want to call him. We don't want to. If he charmed you in the beginning, took you out to fine dinners, and he bought you flowers, because they do all these things at the beginning.
Love at first sight.
Yeah. So we hold on to those beautiful, wonderful experiences. That's what
get us.
Human nature, right?
That's what get us.
Right. We thrive off of those beautiful experiences that we have in our life, and so those are some. So even though there's some abuse, and you're starting to see some things that are kind of like, oh, this doesn't feel right, but in our mind we hold on to those beautiful, wonderful experiences that keeps us kind of still.
They also play this little game that they'll hurt you and come back with flowers.
But also, we always, when they do change, and it's not that they change, it's just that
they're manipulating.
The facade just fell. They already got you. They know you're not going anywhere. So now they're showing their true colors. We always sometimes be like, but he wasn't like that. Maybe he could go back to the way he was. And we look for that, who he was. No, that wasn't who he was. That was just a facade, or what he wanted you to believe that he was. But who he is what you see after. And we just you're right, we hold on to that. And it comes from childhood.
It does. It comes from early on. It's that need for us to feel that embrace, that emotional embrace. And if we didn't get it early on in our childhood, then we're still lingering on for that attachment that was broken at some part in our early childhood. And so that becomes some of the struggles. So if we point some of those things out to and put that out there to the community, and kind of learn what are some of the things that you internally are struggling with, and then just kind of start assessing you and your own needs. And we don't really take time to do that.
Sometimes we gotta look at ourselves.
We gotta look at ourselves first, and what's going on with us.
Exactly, how we feel. We're not happy. There gotta be a reason for it. There's some things where there has to be a reason for it.
And no one can fill that for you.
No, but yourself.
Now let me ask you something. Like you said, and I'm gonna piggyback on what you said. You said that it comes from childhood, and we want to fill that void. So, in your professional opinion, to break the cycle, I believe, but I'm not a professional as you, I believe that to break the cycle is with their children. What do you think? I think the children, when a children is growing in an environment that is not healthy, and when me and you, let's say we are in a abusive relationship, they are witnessing this, they are growing into this, we are robbing them from the childhood, we are really abusing our kids by exposing them to that, because now this kid feels incompetent. You understand? Come on, let's face it, we're superhero for them. We are everything. When they say, well, mommy, give me a kiss. Look, I'm having my son's earrings. He bought me these earrings. And it's a quick. He goes like, mommy, that's huge look. And I have to wear these earrings. I like little, but you know, we are everything to them. So my thing is, how can we really break the cycle of abuse? What we do, we empower women. Because I believe, and we believe, that once you empower a woman and you give the woman the tools, she's not gonna go for that again. She's not gonna get out of a relationship that is abusive to go to another one, because we see that a lot. You live in a relationship that is abusive to go to another one that might be worse. So we empower them so they could find their strength from within. That's why we do the physical and the mental, because the mental has to be in tune with the physical.
Absolutely.
So by empowering women, we are again benefiting the kids. But what do you think it's the real to stop this cycle of abuse? Is it with the kids? Is it with the women? What do you think?
Well, you know what, Giselle? I think what you're doing is definitely what needs to be done. Spreading the awareness, right? So that this way we can break those generational, right? Those generational curses is what I call it. Because if we don't, then we're going to be passing it on. So we recognize that we have the power, right? El poder, like we say in Spanish, to make the change, and that it starts with me, and that I don't want to pass this on to my next generation, to my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. Then I have to kind of take accountability for what I can do today and right now. And with you guys doing this ongoing and putting the message out, because sometimes we're not aware that we're passing it on. You know, and I've seen the kids. I mean, the kids become bullies in school. They become depressed. They become withdrawn. Some of them. I mean, there's so many things that these kids that their childhood is taken away from them. Because of what they witness, and it's definitely going to have an impact.
It will be, but you're right. As it goes, that we miss those signs. You see, a lot of us think, oh, they're little, they don't understand,
or they can't hear, or
they can't. Yes.
But just the energy in the home,
they listen.
Affects.
It
Even if
does.
they haven't seen. Right? They'll witness mommy's crying. They'll witness mommy's mood. They'll witness all of those things.
Listen, but a baby, a new baby,
they hear everything that's going on.
A little baby that don't hear them speak. A baby, when you pick up a baby and you're angry, the baby starts crying because they feel that energy.
Wow.
They do. The babies.
I never picked up a baby while I'm angry.
No, but somebody else.
No,
I'm not talking about you. You never noticed somebody, give me the kid or whatever.
Oh, no, but you grab them like that,
and they feel that energy and they cry, and it really does. So now that we are, what would you recommend for a woman that is just got out of that, and maybe I should go back, because now the kids, I miss daddy, or I miss this. So what would you recommend for that woman that is in the isolation stage of her life, when she cannot go to mom, she's facing it alone with the kids? What would you recommend that for her so she could continue herself?
Counseling is one of the biggest ways of kind of just breaking through the isolation, the abuse, having that place, a safe place for you to be able to have someone to talk with, while you're going through all those different emotions, because there's so much going on when a woman leaves. The fear of what it's going to happen with the children and the reaction that you have from the children saying, I miss daddy, especially if a lot of times you find men who might not be so abusive with the children, they're the best daddies.
They are.
Because there's another form of manipulation. If I'm the best daddy, if that woman tries to leave me, she's going to suffer that child saying, well, you can't buy me my video game like daddy did. You know, so the woman's subjected to hear all this from the son as well, from the children as well. So there's so many barriers that she has to break through. So
The dependency is definitely one thing they have to break. You're depending on that man too much. Depend on yourself. You can do it. When you get that, I think that's when people can actually.
Yeah.
But that dependency will get you stuck because you're scared. You don't got nothing. You depend on that person to
and
help
through the
you.
counseling, you're able to kind of start utilizing some of the strengths that you have. Because we all have strengths.
Yes, we do.
But when you're an abuser, it doesn't
Sometimes
feel like
we
you have
forget.
any.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
because we
weak.
tend to forget.
You
we
feel
we
weak?
get lost in them.
Because they got your strength. They took
Yeah.
it from you. They're holding it for you.
They took
And
it
to
all
grow
away.
back.
They didn't take it. We gave it.
Pretty much, right?
We gave
Well
it.
said, Giselle.
We gave
Well
it.
said.
It's just we gave it.
We let
So
them just have it.
yeah, and
So we have to take it back.
Yes,
Yes.
we gotta
So
grab it.
part of the
Okay.
work is taking it back.
That's right.
So that you're able to stand tall, stand tough, get assertive. And especially with the boxing, I like that piece because it's kind of like taking it back, even in a physical way, right?
I had to take it back because
Right?
I
Taking it all
wasn't
back.
telling nobody was helping me, so I had to take it back
And we know
myself.
it's not easy.
no, it's not.
It's not easy. That's why women stay, because it's not easy.
I
And it isn't-
didn't want to go to therapy myself. I didn't. You know, I didn't want to go for therapy. I didn't want to do none of that. I wanted to do it on my own.
You went with your husband? Did you go to therapy to
No,
counseling? when
I
you-
tried to do counseling with him, and
You didn't want to?
and I made an appointment and everything, and he didn't show up.
You see
Because
that?
he doesn't think he have a problem.
And,
No.
and you know
To
what?
this day, he don't
Abusers
think
don't think
so.
they have a problem.
Yeah, they think they're perfect.
It's you're the one that made
Yeah.
me hit you.
Yes,
You made me do
but
that.
no, this is
How
his
you
favorite
made
Your
that?
fault.
Yeah.
This is his favorite thing. I never had that problem. You take the
It was
beast
your
out of me.
Oh, it was your
It's
fault.
you.
Yeah.
You know
I
what it,
never had an
You know what it is too? A lot of women are talking back. We're not staying shut like before. Back in the days, our mother's days and grandmother and great. We're not staying shut. We have a word. So when we talk back, it's like, oh, who the hell she thinks she is? Or she thinks she's tough and boom. You know? But so we supposed to, no, we a woman. We got a mouth. We can speak too. You know? Why not?
And one thing I think that I also would like to share is that a form of control, to have the need to control someone comes from a place of fear.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Probably
So
more scared than we were.
right. So that's
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because some of the abusers were abused as a child. Some of our kids that we are putting through witnessing abuse, they're gonna become the abuser of tomorrow.
We try to
And it's
avoid
not
that.
because they picked it up from daddy. It's because mommy allowed that to happen.
They see it all the time.
Yeah, and they just become that.
Learned
And
behavior. Becomes learned
it's
behavior.
yes.
And this is what a GNN project is about. Let's stop that now. This is not right. Let's tell the mother. The mother could tell the children. Let's keep on talking, saying it ain't right, it ain't right, it ain't right, until they get it and they be like, you know what, this ain't right.
that's
But
it.
we cannot
Let's
just
talk about it.
But we
Yeah,
not
yeah.
only talk about it, we have
Well,
to show
yeah.
them that it ain't
And
right,
being
and we
about
not
it.
allow it. Yes, we
That's
gotta
right.
talk the walk, baby. We
Yeah.
cannot just walk to walk.
I mean, we can repeat and just try to put it in people's head. That don't mean they're gonna listen to it. But sometimes they'll be out of the fight. Maybe one got us. Maybe one of us
Actually-
think we you know we
Actually,
make
the
sense.
group that we have we've been lucky because not lucky. We've been
Blessed.
consistent.
And
We've been
blessed.
consistent. We're consistent with hard work. We create bonds.
Yes.
Bonds. It's about creating bonds for us. It's about amending families. We do generally care. Everything we do, we don't charge. Everything
Yeah,
we do
we don't
is
charge.
free, and it's not. It doesn't stay in the boxing gym when we do it. It doesn't stay there. We take it there. We call each other. We Facebook each other. We contact
become
each other.
friends.
We become friends and family and support. We have some of them call us. Oh, this happened and they happen, and we just talk. We are a support group. We are a sisterhood.
Sometimes all they need is an ear, somebody to tell them.
You guys are
'Cause
providing
keep it-
support.
And you know what they call it?
That's what's important.
The other day they called it therapy boxing therapy.
Oh yes.
What we do. And
Yeah,
that was
well,
really good
that's
because
what she
we spoke, we hugged, whatever we did, and in the end we got strong. So
and we just try, and I want to thank you very much for coming and shedding some light in the professional way. Is there anything that you want to say to the viewers before we go?
One of the things that I want to say is that if you're in a situation where your life is in danger, there is help. It's important to tap into resources in the community. We have Safe Horizon, Violence Intervention Program, or some agencies you could tap into and get the help and support. No one should be in a situation where you're feeling that your life is in danger.
I want to really, really thank you for giving us those little tips. The GNN Project, you guys could look us up and visit our website, which is gnnproject.org. Also on Facebook, the GNN Project, and on Instagram as well, the GNN Project. In our website, there is a link where you can anonymously share your story. I know sometimes when you're going through something and you don't feel like you could turn into anyone because you're scared, you fear, you don't want nobody to talk what you believe is your privacy, you could go into the link and anonymously just report anything that you're going through as a way of you just venting out. Like she says, I come up with a safety plan and do what you have to do. Nana, you want to say anything before we go? Like, want to close?
Yes. I want to thank you for being here and showing us the light of the signs that sometimes we miss. We don't miss them. We just act like we didn't. We see them. We just be like, we ignore, we saw the signs and stuff. But we want to thank you again for joining us here. And all I want to say that God is good all the time, girl. Even if your man beats you up, God is good, I'm sorry, no, I didn't mean it like that, but it's true. God is good no matter what you're going through. Always trust in him, Who else can we talk to? Especially if you don't want nobody knowing your business. He ain't going to tell nobody. Talk to the man. He'll shine that light.
And I want to thank you again for tuning one more time with us. I hope you tune us again as we're trying to bring more awareness and more survivors to try to inspire you. You don't need to live in abuse. You don't need to be where you're at. You have to find the love within yourself. Just please remember, in order for everything to coexist, you first must exist. The happiness, don't give your happiness to somebody else. Don't give the keys to your happiness to someone else. Happiness is found from within. Thank you for tuning us and see you next time. Have a good one.